phone, just in case. Yeah, because I need to record this session. Okay, first and foremost, thank you everybody. My name is Kong. As you know, I handle the PR for MAN. And today I would like to share a rather interesting topic in our ever-changing media landscape here in Malaysia. I think some of us in this room are young and then some are younger. So we talk about how, we're going to talk about how traditional media has evolved, or the media landscape has evolved. What we have in the past, traditional media, versus the new media and the emergence of what we call influencers and key opinion leaders. So which is more important in today's world? So before we start, okay, what is your preferred source of news? Okay, what was the big thing that happened yesterday? Anybody? Shikin? Sorry? Accident. The five in the family. Bus accident. Oh, UPSI. So where do you get your? Yeah, and then where do you? Facebook. Okay, Kumar, what is your preferred source of news? Okay, do you still buy newspaper? Do you still listen to radio or?
Listen to radio and also most of the time from phone.
Phone. And which platform do you get?
I go for
Google,
Google News.
Okay, Google News lah. Go if you. Social media.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Okay. So again, you don't buy newspaper.
I stopped buying newspaper, buy Hindi,
Okay. So anybody else here still buy your newspaper? E-paper. Okay. And then physical paper lah, huh?
Every Sunday, NSA, Star, and one Tamil Daily.
Wow, 3, yeah?
3. Every
Wow.
Sunday.
Amazing. Benz?
Social media. He's asking what's newspaper.
Yeah. It's like people asking, what's a cassette tape, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yep, in today's world, yes, a lot of us have cast aside the traditional media. And so, the objective of today's training, short session, is to help you understand the characteristics and impact of traditional media. And we learn about how the rise of influencers and KOLs have actually taken over the media space. And then we also compare the effectiveness of both traditional and the new media, specifically now that a lot of us depend on these so-called influencers and KOLs for the latest information. And then from the marketing perspective, we should learn how to integrate both into a cohesive strategy to promote your brand and promote your product. So a short program overview, we have an introduction, then we're going to talk, use a 45-minute segment to talk about the what is traditional media, understanding its role and how it works. And then the next one, we have a session on the emergence of influencers and key opinion leaders. This is when I have the privilege of inviting a special guest to share his experience, like Uncle YS, as most of you will know. He is a 5-time Malaysian rally champion. He used to be a writer for The Sun, Malaysia Online, Auto World, before he pivoted very quickly into being a YouTuber and having a very strong online presence. Today, he's highly recognized for his videos. When he test drive cars, he takes it up Genting. Everybody knows him. In fact, people ask him what cars to buy, what is good, what is bad. So he has done a fantastic job. I think he's close to 70 already. I mean, you must take your hat off to him lah. So today he'll be here. It's a privilege for all of us. He'll share on how he managed to successfully transition from traditional media to the new media. And then we have a break, and then after that, we look at comparing traditional media and influencers and KOLs. Then moving on, we're choosing the right strategy, and then we'll have a session for all of you guys to actually work on something to present as well. So, okay, let's move forward. Understanding traditional media. So, what is the definition of media? It's actually the plural of the word medium. A medium is a way for you a means of communication for you to reach your target audience. So when we say traditional media, we have print, we have electronic, we have, electronic, we call it broadcast lah. Then we have the outdoor as well. And does anybody recognize what this little box is? Sorry? Radio. Last time.
Television.
No, you got the word television. Correct, getting close. Radio, something. Last time, those days, we would pay subscription for this radio. Yeah.
Wow.
You know the age now.
So it's Radio Fusion. This is ancient. When I grew up, my mom will subscribe. This is cable radio. Radio Fusion.
Those days we used to subscribe. Mostly Chinese families.
Yeah. It's a source of entertainment and news, So non-stop broadcast until a certain time, I think 12 at night or something. So you have radio dramas, you have news, you have songs, and I used to like the ghost story segment lah. That's when they share like real experiences, and then they reenact all the ghost stories lah. So anyway, this is
listening to SW. Shortwave.
Medium wave.
FM, NW, those days radios. Transistor radio.
Yeah.
You have FM, MW, SW, AM. Now you only see AM.
Now no more FM.
FM and AM.
Yeah.
You don't have no already. Now AM also is missing already. More internet everywhere. So you can actually get channels on media.
Right.
Listen to Singapore, those days SW.
So for broadcast, last time if you make it to RTM News or TV3 News, a big deal already, because you know that everybody will have heard of, let's say, your brand or something when you get coverage. So of course, nowadays you still have billboards, but increasingly you see not that many big brands are there anymore. But do you think, for example, MAN, if you have billboards plastered all over the highways, do you think it will help?
Personally, for branding, yes, but sales.
Yeah, it's mainly for branding purposes. A lot of times, the media will help you create a brand awareness, maybe of certain campaigns as well, or certain products as well. But whether or not it leads to sales is a big question mark lah. Okay, the role of traditional media in the past is always to provide the latest news which with the emergence of the smartphone and the new media, of course, latest news is no longer relevant in a sense. So it provides information, it helps shape public opinion. When you read a headline like that, of course, you'll be taken aback. It's like, wow, is it true? Haram sokong DAP, then people question themselves. So it creates a kind of help shape perceptions and opinions. And then it will influence your decision making, then you read about, Jolo stole all this money, so he must be a bad guy, and then who is helping him? So last time my 5-year-old niece used to say, wow, Najib stole our money, and she was only 5 years old then. So you can imagine how the dad share all the information. So again, it shapes perceptions and opinions. So for the longest time, the traditional media has a big role in helping us shape our perception and opinion. So why is traditional media still very important? Number one, because it has a lot of trust and credibility because of its heritage. Like New Straits Times, established back in 1845. So it's a very established institution. The Star, 1971. China Press, 1946. And then Berita Harian, 1957. And all these papers usually have super strong reader base. So the circulation, few 100,000 last time. Berita Harian and Utusan used to reach 400,000 copies a day. Meaning that if you get into the traditional media, you can assume that your message would have reached quite successfully to your target audience. And a lot of times, we use the traditional media to reach out to a wide scope of your audiences. And then, why are traditional media trusted? Because most of the time, all these media have access to the powers that be. Senior politicians, the PM, key business leaders, so they get interviews, they get the inside scoop into what is the latest happenings in the business and political world. And so they share this information, and when people find that this information is published in this traditional media, they will believe that is true, because it is very damaging to publish something that's not true, unlike today's digital media sources. As you know, with AI and all, a lot of fake news can be happening. So always verify. Friends will tell me, hey, this is happening, so Trump said something, but is it reported in the traditional media? Because it can be easily falsified. So these are the strengths of the traditional media. So what happened then? So with the emergence of smartphones, it became the go-to, gadget. Everybody will, like e-paper. You don't buy the Star, but you probably read news from the Star on the online edition. So at the end of the day, you look at declining readership. So people stop buying. As the cartoon says, follow our story on our website. So it used to be that newspapers would try to be very up to date in their news. The Malay Mail last time used to have afternoon edition. The Chinese papers used to have afternoon edition. So that you buy the morning paper, then again you'll buy again in the afternoon for the latest. For those who follow the English Premier League results, Malay Mail very important because games play after 11 p.m. The scores you don't see. Even in today's Star, right?
Yes.
you don't get to see the latest scores. So very important. And then used to be top-down information. You just open paper, okay, what you see, then you absorb it, but there's no interaction. Maybe in a very archaic way, there used to be a millennial hotline. You can complain and all. Yeah, but still not real-time interaction as many people would like. So all these challenges meant that traditional media lost its popularity and attractiveness to many of you. So, still on traditional media, so if you have no choice in today's world, which traditional media do you think is still relevant and important to help the MAN brand reach out to your target customers? Maybe share your opinion. TV. But do people still watch TV? Sorry? Is that?
Newspaper.
Newspaper. Okay, which newspaper?
Maybe the Star, the Age, because it's
Okay.
the CEO or the business owner.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. The Age, maybe, although the circulation is very small, maybe 10,000 copies a week. Yeah, but it reaches to the very top of the corporate world. So yeah, that's a good suggestion, is that? Yes?
I think the respective logistic and trucking associations newsletter.
Okay.
They have a print newsletter or AGM where they have advertisement slot.
Mm-hmm.
You can also advertise that.
Okay, that's very targeted. Again, very small circulation, very small readership, but very targeted. So for a brand like MAN, heavy commercial vehicle, you don't really need to have a shotgun approach. It's good for the brand, let's say if you masuk TV or something, but again, whether or not the right people are watching it. So that's the question mark. So Vishnu, Thailand is correct, Izzat is correct. What other traditional media do you think is relevant?
Commercial with attached together with the newspaper.
Okay. You mean the supplement? Okay.
Which
Can.
like Star, Newspaper Time.
Okay.
So they can attach it to, then we'll see what the exact range.
But remember,
Top management level, they more go to the English term.
Mhm.
So they will use it. So then they open, they know, okay, this is a
Ah.
product. They can use it for their future.
yep. And also bear in mind your target market. Okay, who are these people? Are they all Chinese speaking, mainly Chinese speaking, or Malay medium, or is it English speaking? So you got to be aware of that as well. Would radio work? No? BFM 89.9. Yeah, the business station. Again, it is very English medium. If your customers are mainly, all the Chinamen who are following what? Xiaohongshu or, Little Red Book.
For me, I think all type of media,
Mhm.
we must go according to the all language types. So Chinese, Malay, or Indian, they have two variants. Then only we can tackle for this. For the whole product.
But then do bear in mind that traditional media is still a very expensive medium to invest in. For example, a full page ad in the Star usually set you back 30,000-40,000 per page. Age maybe slightly cheaper, but then papers like the Age, all these traditional media have their pros and cons. Star is still like a one-day thingy, but you can still keep it. Keep the edition. You read over the next week or so. Still okay lah. You know, if you don't accidentally use it to wrap your fish bones, you know, chuck it into the bin. The age is a little bit has more longevity because of the quality of the paper, and then yeah, you tend to keep it for longer. Keep it. So again, the investment cost, the cost of investing in these papers, although personally I still feel that it still plays a role, but the most important is that you must understand your customer. You know, what do they use to as a source of information? So just want to share with you Crocs. We used to handle the Crocs shoes. Now it is making a comeback. When it first started in 2006, one pair of Crocs was only 129. Now it's 339 or something in the basic pair. So just want to share with you how at the time it was traditional media mainly lah. There was still a lot of magazines, a lot of newspapers, a lot of lifestyle magazines. Last time Blue Ink, under the Blue Ink group, banyak female, Her World, Wanita, all those magazines were plenty. Newspapers were still very important. So when we handled this brand called Crocs, there was zero advertising budget. We were just, given the task, help us promote the brand. When it first started, in Malaysia, hardly known, but in the fashion circles, the Crocs brand was beginning to create a lot of interest. So I used to carry a big bag of shoes, and I go from newspaper office to the magazine office to meet the editors. Hey, would you like to try a pair of Crocs? Some of them throw me out lah. Hey, this is the ugliest pair of shoes I've ever seen. So I ain't gonna put it in my magazine, especially if it's like female fashion magazine. So what we did was that as the brand grew in popularity, although it wasn't that hot in Malaysia yet, subsequently it was like, we actually told the magazine, okay, we don't have money. How? Can you give me one page and we do a joint promo, give out to your readers. And because of the brand getting super popular all over the world, they agreed. So a lot of times, let's say one full page in Her World or something is worth 5,000. So no money ma. We say, can we give you 30 pairs of shoes worth about 5,000? So they agreed. So that was the main strategy that we used to saturate the media. We were in different magazines all the time. Almost every month we were there. We gave out $5,000 worth of shoes, and then the editors were happy because their readers wanted the shoes. They got it for free. They get a voucher. They can go to the store to redeem their shoes. So that's how it worked. But again, it doesn't work nowadays lah, because it is a lot of these titles no longer exist in print. They might have an online presence, but then they are very much reduced in their reach. And at the time, we even reached out to the new media. Bloggers were gaining popularity then. Hello, welcome. Our special guest today, Uncle Y S Khong and his assistant. Hi, please sit down.
See here?
Yeah, can. Yes. Thank you, YS, for coming. really appreciate it. So, yes, as you know, Uncle YS is one of the persons that I really admire because of his ability to transform himself, pivot very successfully from traditional to online media. And afterwards, he's going to share his experience on how he did all that. Yep. So very quickly, I'm sharing on how we used traditional media last time to promote Crocs shoes. So at the time, bloggers were getting into vogue. Today, they are probably called influencers also. So in this case, I flew all the way to Kuching to meet up with this guy called Kenny Xia. He used to be a very popular lifestyle blogger. His blog posts were very funny. He comment on social issues and everything. In fact, during the pandemic, when he went for his vaccine, he turned up in a dinosaur suit to so-called create a bit of lightheartedness. So he was a very creative guy, and I convinced him that, hey, Kenny, can I give you like 10 pairs of Crocs? You help me post it up. And he said, okay, yeah, Crocs. It's quite hot in the US now. Okay, I'll do it. So it was a giveaway, 10 pairs, and he put it up for me. So that was one of our first ventures into digital media. So, so we at the time, proud to say, we had a combination of traditional and digital media influencer as well. So that's how we did it. So the emergence of influencers and KOLs. Today, we have Uncle YS, who is, I would say he's a KOL. I wouldn't call him an influencer. Although, please explain how you would categorize yourself afterwards. Because there are different, subtle differences. Because although the word is used interchangeably, we look at what constitute an influencer and what constitute a KOL. YS, please, if you disagree with me, please do, because you are living the life of a KOL stroke influencer.
Yeah, mine is a little bit different. I also don't know what I am sometimes.
Okay, so basically, if you look at influencers, these are social media native. They were born into the world of the smartphone and then digital platforms, social media platforms. So they create content, they probably have a large social media following, and then somehow brands kind of see that, hey, can these people help me reach my target market? So that's how they were engaged. So recently I came across this young man, could be a Sabahan based on his name, Maximus something, and he became the face of this local brand called Zeve, Z-E-V-E. They sell very nice dress shoes, 300 ringgit, super comfortable. I have a pair myself. And then they have like suits and all. So again, somehow he blew up on TikTok. Very popular, but then you see a lot of the comments with, "Oh, you're so handsome."
Yeah, it helps if you're handsome. I feel better.
Yes, good looks help if you're an influencer. And of course, you have Fatah Amin. Last time, my client Shell used to use him to promote Shell Advance. But I don't know how successful, but they pay him a lot of money. But because the brand manager was a fangirl, oh, you're so handsome, So, exactly. Then you have this handsome gentleman here. Why we call him a KOL? I would classify him as a KOL because he's an expert in the subject matter. You know, he is a 5-time Malaysian rally champion. He drives like the wind, and then so he knows his stuff. So he's an authority. So he's trusted and perceived as authentic. So these are just to play a video lah. Strutting around like that also can blow up on TikTok. So the differences again, influencers versus KOLs. So in terms of audience, I think KOLs are more targeted, more specific. Like Uncle YS will be automotive. You don't see him promoting shoes or fashion lah. Maybe coming soon.
You must be versatile enough to take on anything.
Right. So influencers, they can be generalists. They take on any jobs lah. You know, if they ask you to promote spectacles, you do that. You promote washing detergent, you probably do that because just take only lah. And then the content is mixed. KOL, you have very professional, very targeted content. So as you can see, the impact, they can possibly influence behaviors and some trends, but then for KOL, I think their impact would be very strong on that particular subject or topic. So the role of influencers, maybe brand awareness. In general, the brand, if you're a new brand, you can engage influencers and then they can help you popularize it and make it well known. But for KOLs, they can build the credibility for the brand if you have the right KOL. Yes.
I think this is a very good definition because a lot of companies nowadays, they themselves don't know the difference between what is an influencer and a KOL. So in your marketing efforts, it has to be very clear. You know, because later I'll also
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. So in terms of influencers, then you have nano influencers, you have micro influencers, you have macro influencers, then you have the mega influencers. What are the differences? I think in the social media agency, they categorize based on number of followers. Okay. Thailand is the GM of Sales and Marketing Solutions here. So he's my direct client.
So by the way, I'm sorry everyone, sorry to actually leave this fantastic training. This is my round 2. So he's a new joinee, he's day 1. So I just wanted to give him, he's not part of the training, but give him the exposure. He's in different programs. So he's like still startling, what's happening. But a very experienced guy, so we'll be back after this.
Okay.
Definitely join your session. But the more important one is actually filling and driving the truck.
Yeah. We've got the unit ready.
2,100 Newton meters of torque.
Wow.
We have another one which is 2,500 Newton meters of torque. This one, with only 440 horsepower, we are able to produce 2,100 Newton meters of torque. 12-speed automatic transmission.
That's interesting.
ZF gearbox.
Hey, go up there and think
high.
That will be another session. I think that will blow up your channel. Something different, right?
Yeah, something very different.
Yeah. So in terms of influencers, for MAN in particular, because we are a commercial vehicle, some of the media don't want to cover heavy commercial vehicle. So we got to depend on different types of so-called influencers to help us. We have this guy, Hell Trucker, who's on Facebook. He was an ex-truck driver, very Malay centric, very followers, a lot of Malay followers. So it's quite effective in a sense. Then for the Malay market, we have people like Abangan, who's a macro influencer. And then top of the range, we have people like those mega influencers, Cristiano Ronaldo. But if you have the money, will you spend it on him to help you
I
promote?
can't imagine a footballer talking about mantras.
Exactly.
I can't imagine.
But he has done things like shampoo. I mean, people pay him, like this clear brand of shampoo, pay him, I don't know how many million to do shampoo. Yeah, so in terms of social media platforms, plenty around. So why else are you going in here?
I have already registered, but
Oh.
I haven't decided what I want to do about it. But later you all can ask me, because I've been talking about this. I also have my trials and tribulations and all.
Right.
But actually, can I ask, who are these people that I'm talking to?
Okay, we have different people today. We have one online, Izzat, who is dialing in from Kuantan. He handles sales for MN over there. Then we have Shikin, who is a service advisor
Service advisor.
at the Shah Alam service center here. Then we have Kumar. Kumar from CSM also, but he's in charge of warranties and service agreement. And Go is the lead salesperson. He brings in the dough for MAN. So again, I mean, for him, it will probably be very important because he will know his target customers. And then Bala is our profi trainer, very experienced person, been around in MAN for many years. He trained drivers.
So it's called MAN, not
It's MAN. Very important.
Real man drive trucks.
Yeah.
And you have two more.
And then that's my assistant,
Okay.
Wen Hui, who's helping me today. And Benz is also in sales for the northern region.
All right. I actually wanted to have an idea of
Yeah,
who
yeah.
I'm talking to.
Yeah, Thailand is my direct client, so he handles marketing and sales for MAN Malaysia.
How big is the sales team? How big is the sales and marketing team?
For sales wise, we have 2 in central, 3 in central, 2 in, then 1 in northern, 1 in southern, and another 1 is in east coast.
So 6 lah.
Yeah, so basically we cover more or less.
MAN is a very lean team, so yeah, 6.
But I used to sell this type of equipment long time ago. I used to sell backhoes and excavators.
Oh,
So the market is actually very targeted, very niche. You know who are your customers. It's not. One of my friends asked me, so why is you sell tractor? You drive the tractor, go everywhere. Because that's the people to understand.
yeah.
So actually, I'm quite experienced in selling industrial.
Oh, that's how you got your license lah.
Yes, that's why I got SGHI. No E unit.
But okay, so basically, advantages. Again, YS can give his perspective on this. So, what are the advantages of influencers and KOLs? They're authentic, then relatable somehow. Again, question mark. All of you maybe can help me answer. The most important is direct engagement. If you have questions, you can ask the KOL and then he'll probably reply you. And then many brands are using influencers to endorse their product, to tell their brand story, and most importantly, create content. Like Toyota Gazoo Racing, you have a host of celebrities, from the entertainment industry taking part.
But I think this year they stopped already.
Stop.
Because in the early, so in terms of using KOLs and influencers, it all depends on the timing. So in the early days of Gazoo Racing, they needed all these celebrities Because you look at all of them, they have very young followers. A lot is Malay because we have a lot of Malay population. And then you got Sean, I think somewhere there, the one on the left. So that's the Chinese side. All of these people have a lot of followers. So for a car brand where anybody can be your customer, using the influencer and KOL, I don't think you can call them KOL.
Yeah, influencers.
They have a lot of followers. So that means if I want 1 million followers following this guy or this girl, I remember her name Dana something.
Daniel.
Diana. So I'm not into girls. So anyway, she had a lot of followers, and that is the reason why they use her. That's one of the reasons. So for industrial, it's slightly different.
Yep. Again, I want to share my experience with an eyewear brand, Zeiss, Z-E-I-S-S. Last time they launched their so-called flagship center in Pavilion Elite. So at the time, of course, we invited the media lah. But then the GM said, hey, my friend say we should use influencers. So I have this guy, he promised to bring 20 fellas. So on the day itself, more than 20 influencers turn up, all young, dressed to the hilt, So they were flooding the PC area, the seating, the media couldn't sit. But very impressive lah. Wow, big crowd at the launch. So what this fixer did was to promise each influencer a pair of eyewear worth 2,000 ringgit from Zeiss. On the other hand, the media that we invited, they were just given a door gift because they were here to report on the opening of this Zeiss flagship store. So then after the event, of course, I asked the boss, hey, how was the impact? Yeah, a lot of them turn out. But then, funny thing is, they pose in front of my shop, they put on glasses, they put on the post, and then some of them didn't even mention my brand. They just say, we're here, the launch of the new eyewear brand in Pavilion Elite. And then all the comments that came, you look so nice, I love your dress. Wow, so pretty, all this.
No relevance.
The lack of relevance. Although you might have reached, let's say, 10,000 of her or his or her followers, but is there relevance? Did your brand get mentioned? So that's the other question. So again, you have Cristiano Ronaldo promoting shampoo, but will that influence you to buy the shampoo? Or you have Jack Lim, pushing this fancy-looking electric MPV. Does that mean that you will buy the MPV? So, big question mark. Going back, I just want to mention this guy. I don't know whether you know him. Let's skip the ad. So,
Hi guys, today I have a friend with me.
that is YS. I'll leave it.
Dari segi harga dia owner 400 dia
How do I
jual
skip
dengan
this
harga
ad?
1899 dan 2199 untuk storan yang lebih besar, manakala owner 400 versi Pro dijual dengan satu variant sahaja berharga 2.
Which video is showing?
Is this guy called Tony Zhu? Have you heard of him? He's a Chinese guy that blew up on.
LC sign, right?
Yeah, Tony of LC Sign.
This guy.
No. This is an advertisement. I don't know how to skip it.
Yang biasa ni dia datang dengan rekan yang lebih rata, flat side, flat back, flat screen, manakala yang versi Pro ni.
Anyway, he's a neon sign salesman, super funny. Because his opening is some inane video, and then he'll start going into sales spiel. Very annoying, that.
Media mah.
Yeah, we went for a few seconds and then skip.
Ayo.
This is about the media.
Thanks, Kong, for giving them free advertising.
So he became super famous around the world for his very short TikTok videos, pushing his science.
What's
This
he
is
selling?
neon science.
Oh,
Thanks. He speaks, he can mimic anybody, any accent. He does Trump really well as well. Yeah. So it's just a regular Chinaman.
in China.
Yeah, in China, Guangzhou. Ayo, again. Why?
No, because it's open again as well. Let's see if we can watch out.
Enjoy 10 ringgit off with code SYO.
We got taken over by Foodpanda. So anyway, talking about popularity using an influencer, right? He is only selling on behalf of his company. Neon signs, his favorite word is no MOQ, minimum order quantity. He was playing just now, right? Ayo, again. Anyway, skip it lah. So just to share, so the interviewer asked him, did sales increase a lot? Because his popularity was all over the world, he was featured.
Excuse me, boys. You want coffee? Why do you want coffee?
Yeah.
In China. Well, it feels very awesome, I could say. Yes.
Yeah. Did I make the mistake?
Enjoy 10
yeah.
ringgit off with code SYO.
I tried to enlarge the screen, but never mind. Okay. I think you have an idea. It's a short video for 4 minutes.
This young Chinese salesman is famous on the internet. Even being featured on American television. Uber Tony from LC Sign has gone viral for his hilarious social media videos. In short clips, Tony promotes signage products with uncanny accents and illustrations. These signs are more affordable, they are not endless, cancel all recipe. But his real neck lies in giving satirical reactions to other people's videos that his viewers hate. In the comments, users from all over the world gush about their affection for this young homie in China. Well, it feels very awesome, I say. Yes, but I never imagined that I could be like this even just 1 year ago. Somehow we think expanded being unexpected for the 26-year-old who never set out to become an internet celebrity. He grew up with his parents working at a skate factory in Dongguan, and English was his favorite subject. So he started a job as a foreign trade salesman, eventually landing in this signage company in Guangzhou. Initially, Tony was making traditional product videos like many others, but after a year, it still garnered little traction. That's when he decided to step in front of the camera, draw inspiration from the Western comedians he admires. One of my favorite is Russell Peters. And he's really a lot of accents. And his show sounded like one day, it's like, hey, maybe I could do some accents in a video. So we tried, and yeah, people loved it. As some of these videos garnered millions of views, new customers were brought in. It's not as people thought it could be like 5 times or 10 times of growth. No, we made a growth from 5 to 10%. sell products to the world, Tony has inadvertently challenged some stereotypes along the way.
A friend from abroad, he seen me the first time and he was like, Tony, you're so funny. I always thought, Chinese would be not so funny. I'm like, no, my friends are so funny, We always, talk about things like, can I say talk? Like, okay.
Meanwhile, Tony has been surprised by the reception of some of his jokes, which aren't exactly politically correct.
It teaches me something, is that people are not that narrow as you thought they would be. Like, for example, if we tell some LGBT jokes or Indian accent jokes, some people might have thought that it would be offensive, but no, people actually enjoy it.
Despite not taking himself very seriously, Tony's fans seem to place big aspirations on him. So I read one internet comment that says, Tony can fix US-China trade relations.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
If I get the chance to meet Mr. President, I would say, come on.
He's not calling him. He cannot hear anything.
Oh,
I went to America and
how?
I found a lot of ideas that we could learn from.
Okay,
And
we
also
apologize,
have
is that-
a lot of American sign company
I don't know how to
investors
fix this.
and they look at what we do, and they also find something they can learn from. I find it a very amazing thing. Rather than
But-
treating each other like enemy, I think that would be much
This
better.
from
if
the
we choose
computer,
to,
right?
learn from each other.
Is that I'll share the
Competition,
video with you later.
cooperation, make it, it will eventually benefit both sides, I think.
Okay, so if you listen to him, millions of views, what's the conversion rate to sales?
It's 5 to 10%.
Yeah,
But it depends on how much you're selling. If you're selling 10 million and you get
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
but it's still a low number.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk, so-called, remember, used to have all these mail drops. Also, mail drop agencies say the conversion rate is very low. They flood your mailbox with all kinds of promotions. Yes. So,
What is a reasonable promotion rate expecting?
Can I say something? For this type of campaign, I think it's more for awareness. The result could be longer term.
yeah,
So he comes out with a video. The immediate result is not so apparent, but it could be later. See, what he has done with this is he has become the world's viral salesman, and so.
and LC sign becomes
so
famous.
When people look at signs, you'll be like, he can become like Colgate lah. You don't say toothpaste, you say Colgate. So there is the longer term effect, but of course I really don't know lah. I'm just saying this is a possibility. Usually, if you want immediate results, there must be some immediate
Call to
bait,
action.
a bait.
Hmm.
So the person you use is the medium to do the shout.
It's branding.
Yeah, you see, if MAN has the website, I don't know how many people go there, but if you go to like Tony Su and say MAN truck is the best, how many people will hear him say that? And out of the people who hear him say that, how many people would be thinking of buying trucks? Maybe not today, because a truck is not something you buy every day. You have a planned schedule. And if it happens to be at the right time, or he can influence you, for example, then you say, hey, we should look at MAN truck, man. Because Tony Zu said so, and he was so funny, so I remember that kind of thing.
Very good point. Thanks, YS. Okay, so we'll let YS share his own video afterwards.
Yeah.
So, okay, question mark. Lately, if you see, there are some articles on whether influencers are losing their touch. So apparently, there was one article in the Star. They could be biased because they are traditional media.
Yeah.
So they say that 36% of Malaysians no longer trust influencers. So the only people that they distrust more are politicians, apparently 41%. So then they are questioning authenticity. That's where influencers with the KOLs come in. Influencers can be Fatah Amin, who has nothing to do with maybe the bike or anything, but he's used as a face for Shah Advance, you know. So people say, yeah, he does it for the money only lah, you know, that kind of thing. So, and sponsored posts maybe being questioned. Yeah, of course he said this is good because he's paid money. And then, of course, people see that some are very superficial, all these posts that don't really have an understanding of the product or don't really believe in the product. So, yeah, disconnected. Again, this is
What's your opinion?
There will still have a very strong presence, but I think there needs to be more transparency. If it's a sponsored post, be open about it. I think that helps. Even, for example, in traditional media like the Star and all that, last time.
Articles, I was there, been there.
Yeah, last time they used to put editorial there. Now, if you see the article has headline in caps, it's paid lah, sponsored. So it's not an organic news article. So be careful because the Star will need money to survive lah. Yeah, yeah. So everybody needs sponsorship. So again, this is something to ponder. Okay, my question to you, money is no object. So which influencer would you use, or which influencer or KOL would you use to promote the MAN brand? Benz? Do you have anybody in mind? Bala, Go, Kumar, Shikin? Don't have. Bala, do you think of anybody for MAN? Truck influencer. But is there such a person in Malaysia?
Yeah, drivers.
But then, okay.
Those drivers like what L truck, there's companies, their own driver, like, you know.
But do they have the kind of reach? Yes.
Yeah, there are two things here.
Then like,
Reach is one.
automotive, like OS, you know, something is more towards the automotive industries.
Maybe they need to consider using two. One guy who is has a recognition because he can be a driver, but then Ali Hassan. He can be a very good driver.
Yep.
But nobody knows him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the issue. Then you can have influencer who's got 1 million followers, but then he doesn't do anything but trucks. You know, so maybe you need to do a kind of combination. You need
One is for brand awareness,
One is
for
for, yeah.
the technical.
Yeah.
Next question. When they buy a truck, it costs almost $500,000.
Yes.
Most of the potential customers who are the decision maker, they not only know about our brand, they also know all the brands which is available in the market. Even they buy even better than us. So I don't know whether this influencer can influence them or not, because they have their own idea what they're doing, what they need, what their expectations. So my question whether the influencer can really influence them or not, because they know better what they need.
Right. Okay. That is, maybe MAN as a brand, heavy commercial vehicle, is so niche.
Yeah, it's very, very.
Yeah, that maybe a salesperson sitting in front of them would be the most effective. Okay. If they open the door to you. I mean, I'm sure because they're not like passenger car market. that
It's not only a product, it's a package.
Mm.
So influencer cannot work on the package.
You're right.
They can talk about product, yes, performance, but not in the package. So in my opinion, personal touch is very important.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with you.
Malaysia business in commercial vehicle is more into the relationship. You have to build your trust to someone
Mm.
in order for them to trust you, to give you a right. It's not that like, oh, outside this car is good, but internal is like, no, car is so expensive. Your after sales can support us or not, this and that. Because for commercial vehicle, at the end of the day, it's
Can you help me pause and check whether the sound is on?
ownership, correct? It's not about how branding